Hi, I'm Samantha Gassman, and today I'm joined by Amanda Huffman, podcaster and author of Women of the Military. She is an entrepreneur, a military spouse, and a mother of two, and she's here today to talk to us about her tips for becoming an entrepreneur and her tips also for transitioning out of the military. Amanda, it's great to have you here.
I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course. All right, so tell us a little bit about how you got started as an entrepreneur.
So, I kind of started by being a hobby blogger and not an entrepreneur. I thought that you start a blog, you make money, that's how it works. But there's a lot more work that goes into it, and marketing and research and even strategy. And so, I started as a hobby, and then it became a career over time as I learned more and became more strategic in creating my content and helping reach my audience.
That's wonderful. So when you were going through all of this, what was your biggest challenge as a transitioning service member coming from the military, being a civil engineer, and then moving into this kind of new career field for you?
So, yeah, it was a big transition to go from civil engineer to freelance writer and blogger. And there was a lot less structure because it wasn't the military, but it was challenging because I was trying to figure out who I was, but then it was also really exciting because I was starting to follow something I was really passionate about, and I kind of got burnt out on engineering. And so that
Mhm.
was like a big shift for me.
Yeah, for sure. And not to mention, I mean, like you said, it's so hard to know exactly what you want to do when you get out there. You're bombarded with all these choices, and all of a sudden it's up to you to make the decision.
Yeah, and I really wanted to be able to stay at home as much as possible, and so it was nice to become an entrepreneur because I can set my hours, I can set my goals for my income, and I can have a lot more control on when I work and how I work and not have to worry about meeting a certain number of hours for a different company.
But that also means you have to be very self-disciplined and a bit of a self-starter as well.
Yeah, there's good and bad with both.
Yeah. Okay, so what is your biggest post-separation accomplishment to date? We know that you're upward and onwards with bigger and better things, but so far, what are you most proud of?
I'm really proud of the Women of the Military podcast because that was a big turning point for going from doing something that no one knew anything about what I was doing. And the podcast was really where people started noticing the work that I was doing, and they got excited, and it started to build a community. And it kind of pushed me to where I am now of shifting my focus from helping women veterans to women who are joining the military. And so it's been really cool to look back and see how the podcast has pushed me forward to do so many other things and how it's shaping the direction of my future business.
Absolutely. And what advice would you give veterans who are interested in starting their own business or becoming an entrepreneur?
My advice is that it's a marathon, not a sprint. I think a lot of people see the the rise and they don't see the like big flat line before. So someone told me recently that, well, you got popular really fast. And I was like, no, I was working and creating my business for over 4 years before I started my podcast. And then when the podcast started, yes, everything kind of came together and it changed everything about my business. But for the first 4 years, I was doing different things, trying different things. There was a lot of networking and prep work before I finally found the right thing and was able to make things happen. And I think a lot of people see the rise and they don't see all the work that goes into actually being an entrepreneur.
Right, because you started with, just blogging about different things that interested you, and it took you a little while to find that niche audience, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I was like all over the place. And as I continue to work on my business, I refine more of where I'm going because I used to want to help all women who were in the military. And now it's shifting towards women who are joining. And so every iteration, it gets more niche, and you can figure out like what products and services they need instead of trying to meet everyone's needs, really focus in and help a specific group.
And that's really a key part to having your own business, right? Is understanding your audience and what they need and how you can help them.
Exactly. Yeah, it's so important.
hmm Awesome. Well, is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience?
I just like to say that you can do anything that you want to do. I'm an engineer by my schooling, and now I'm a writer. And I was told so much growing up that engineers aren't good writers. And so I had to overcome that and not worry about what the stereotype is and just do
Mhm.
what I was passionate about. So you can do anything you want, just go out and do it.
It's great advice. Thank you so much, Amanda, for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.